This is the Four-Man Rush. Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast of the Four-Man Rush. I'm your host, Timmy V.O., here with Kevin and Larry, and welcome to Week 1 of the 2019-2020 season. Jack, it is on and popping. Ha-ha! L.A. is not going to have a good day. Man, so, Panther fans, football fans, we're going to talk about, obviously, Game 1 of the NFL season for the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be against the L.A. Rams. They're coming to Charlotte. They're going to run up on South Mint and get dealt with. Right? So, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, obviously, the 53-man roster. Pretty much, we're going to talk about our surprises, disappointments, and things of that nature. Just touch on that real quick. And we're going to talk about the NFC South as a whole. We're going to discuss what we think is going to happen in the NFC South. I know there's some talking heads out there who are talking about the Saints are going to win the entire NFC. Well, that's your darn opinion. Just saying. I don't see that happening. But anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and jump into the 53-man roster because we've been scouting these guys, looking at these guys for months now, and let's go ahead and talk about that. We'll start with you, Kevin, and then we'll go to you, Larry. So, how do you feel about how the roster panned out, Kevin?
Overall, I like this roster pretty much from top to bottom. Now that the entire 53-man roster has been set, I did notice that if there was anything to be mildly surprised about, I was surprised that we kept 9 offensive linemen. I had been on record thinking that, we would have kept 8, to allow, more position and skill positions to have that extra man. I wasn't counting on Brandon Green being the 9th offensive lineman. But, at the end of the day, the number one goal of the all season by Rivera and Herney said it was to protect Cam Newton. So this is the depth to back up the starters to protect Cam Newton. If they feel like that he performed at a level that warrants him having a spot, I'm all for it. Wasn't shocked about the running backs. I pretty much felt like it was going to be Scarlett and Bonifon. Now that he's on the team, I definitely got to have some respect with his name. A few episodes ago, I called him Buttercups. But, hey, that man showed out the entire preseason, so much respect to him. As far as defensive-wise, really wasn't no shocks there either. We kept 5 defensive linemen. As you know, we're doing this 30 front. I still think we're going to see some 40 front elements from time to time. I don't think we're going to be exclusively 3-4 like we saw in our base packages during the preseason. Another one was Kanaski, number 43, making linebacker. He was someone that I was pulling for. He replaced Jared Norris. I'm completely happy about that. My man Cockrell, he came back from a broken leg from last year and secured down a spot not only as depth at cornerback, but as safety as well. Picked up some guys as a late addition on the waiver wire to add depth to special teams, particularly in returner department and a couple of wide receiver bodies. Overall, I'm content. I think this is a roster that once it's well coached and gels, I think that with good health, we're going to be a serious contender come late January.
I'm digging that. Larry, what you thinking about the roster, man? How it panned out? Any disappointments, surprises?
Well, I think the reason for the extra linemen is because we really haven't figured that out yet. I'm not entirely comfortable with the depth behind the starters. So, Dennis Daly, he has some bright spots in camp and also in the preseason, but there also are some weaknesses. I don't know if they fully trust him to, take on that role yet. So I think that was a reason for us, keeping an extra offensive lineman. We're just trying to get it figured out, get the chemistry and everything right. I'm still screaming for my linebacker depth. I know Jordan out of Cal, he was a dark horse of mine very early on. One of the things that stood out to me about him is that at Cal, one, that's where Ron Rivera went, but two, they played a similar scheme. So he was actually used to being behind that 30 front. So I thought he had a lot of upside going into camp. I'm happy that we got some DBs. I feel pretty solid about the cornerbacks we have. I like having Elliott at the nickel. I like the fact that, Bradbury and Dante, they fully know their roles on this team and what they'll be doing. Trey Boston was a good pickup. Hope he can tackle better than he has in years past, but
Facts.
to have that kind of depth is very important.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to get it rolling. I think we know exactly what's going to happen on offense. We just got too many weapons. And like I try to preach home day in and day out, confident I felt in our front since Mike Rucker and Julius Peppers were wrecking havoc, and Chris Jenkins and Buckner and them. We just too deep, too talented, way too much upside. You got to double somebody each and every day. It's going to let some of the other guys get opportunities. If you're doubling McCoy, KK's going to have a one-on-one. If you're doubling KK, Cole will have a one-on-one. Poe anchoring stuff in the middle. I just feel like it's inevitable that we have at least a 65-sack year, if not 70. So it's got to go down that way. I'll be disappointed with anything less. But like I said, on the offense, I just think we need gel. Hoping for the best when it comes to Darrell Williams, hoping that he's healthy, can stay healthy. Same thing with Paradis. And hopefully we find the right group of guys, with however that rotation is going to go. Just make sure that we're able to protect our quarterback. And not only that, but actually get some push. I didn't see too much push in the preseason, regardless of whether it was first string, second string, third string. I like to see more push in the run game. So that's what I'm expecting week one.
I totally agree, man. That defensive line is going to be hellacious. One thing that caught me off guard with the roster, I have to say, was letting go of Torrey. Now, I know we got some more guys, though. We got to keep it fresh, no doubt. Torrey is getting old. But I was like, that was interesting. But that tells you a lot about the ball distribution. I do see Arma getting more touches. I definitely see Arma getting more touches. They're really going to rely on DJ and Kurt. They're really going to rely on CMC. The fact that we got, Bonifant and my man Scarlett coming up behind him means, Norv is really going to stick to his guns when it comes to play calling. He's not going to have to, rearrange anything if Cam or if, Lord forbid, one of the running backs goes down. It's, they just plug him right back in. And like you guys mentioned, it goes back to the O-line. If they can stay healthy, we're gonna be just fine. We're gonna be just fine. I like the roster. I think it came out okay, but yeah, that linebacker depth is scaring the hell out of me. Scaring the hell out of me. And that's all I have to say about that. So, LA Rams, Carolina Panthers, Sunday. It's freaking on. Where you gonna be at, Kevin? You gonna be at the game, Kev?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be at the game. I got to keep my streak intact. I've been to every single home game under the Rivera Cam Newton era in 2011. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to keeping that streak going. So yeah, I definitely be there. Representing Team Savage 500 section. Section 550. So I'll be in my spot.
Yeah, I know we met up a couple times that big season. What, that 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah, the year of the dab.
Man, ruthless. I went to the Atlanta game and the Redskins game that year. Both of them.
Yep, met you for both of them.
Yeah, put a thumping on them. God almighty, we put a thumping on them dudes.
44-15, bro.
They were walking the home mad. But anyway.
Yeah, them 40 burgers.
Yeah, we was just scoring at will, dude. It was, oh man, I hope we get that back. But yeah, Rams. Let's talk about what they're going to, what type of obstacles we're going to have to overcome and what we need to focus on in order to get this win, Kev.
Well, for me, I'm always talked about, the tone is set in the trenches. So that's where we got to start first. When we look at the key matchups, you're going to be looking at, can our offensive line block and set the tone against the Rams defensive line? Mm-hmm. That whatever the outcome of them battles, that's going to dictate how well we can do. I feel like that if we can neutralize Aaron Donald, and they got a couple other guys, and ain't just him. He's the main one, but they got some other guys that if we don't keep in check, they can cash in on the damage too. But definitely, if we can neutralize that defensive front, I feel like we have an advantage on their back seven, particularly at linebackers. I feel like none of their linebackers can consistently cover Olsen and McCaffrey, particularly in the passing game. I just see that as an opportunity that we can exploit. I look to see us have an opportunity to run 2 tight end sets against them, because that was one of the things I noticed last year, that teams that was too effective tight ends gave the Rams a lot of headaches defensively. For all that defensive talent that they had, there were several games where they was giving up 25, 30 points. Luckily, they had an offense that could score 30, 35. But I look forward to seeing how the trenches dictate the flow of the game for us when we're on offense. Now, when it's our turn to go on defense, Larry can probably speak on it a little bit more than I can in depth, because he's that well in tune with it. But I feel like that, if I'm not mistaken, the Rams, I think they lost a player or two in the offseason on the offensive line, and they're working some new guys in. And I just think with our, revamped defensive line and front seven, I see us potentially having a sack party come Sunday afternoon at Bank of America Stadium. Like you was talking about earlier, they come to Mint Street, they come to Mint, and they're going to get bent. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that what happens in the trenches is going to set the tone for everything else. If we win our fair share in the trenches, we're going to put up our fair share of points. If not, it's going to be a long day, and it's going to be a grind.
Right on, man. Hey, Larry, what you think, brother?
I'm on the same accord as Kevin, man. It's going to start in the trenches. That's the reason why we call it 4-man rush, man. That's just my specialty. But just like Kevin mentioned, it's more than just Aaron Donald. He's step one, because he's right over center. Everything's going to start with him. He's their anchor. He's the one that disrupts everything. He can single-handedly disrupt an offense by himself. So it's going to be imperative that we get him in check and under control. And I believe that's what we're paying Paradis for. He got a lot of money. It's time to back it up. Put your money where your mouth is. And as Kevin mentioned earlier, that they had more than just Aaron Donald. He disrupts everything, but also Dante Fowler had a really productive year last year. So we got our hands full, to be honest with you. So we got to see if, Paradis is going to make money that we paid him. We got to see if Darrell Williams is going to be good at the left side. We got to see if Moton is going to wake up from his low-average preseason and, hit ground like he did last year. We got to get the Moton from the 2018 season, not the 2019 preseason.
Word.
But overall, that's what it's going to come down to, because at the end of the day, we ain't too shabby on our end either. Defensive front as well. So Todd Gurley has arthritis on in his D, so he's going to be on the snap count. We just got more weapons. McCaffrey, Curtis, DJ, Olsen, and you put them in there, Arma. And then the ultimate weapon, which is, Mr. Cam Newton. So I just think we're more talented on offense, and that'll be the difference maker. I got it being a low-scoring game. I got us winning 17-7, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I'll let you go ahead and continue.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, golf is going to have a hard time, man. If folks been, sticking around and snooping around and reading up on contract negotiations, things of that nature, this man's about to get paid. And first game, he's going up against arguably probably the best defensive front, 3 or 4, down linemen in the entire NFL. I put money on that against anybody, including the Rams. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some great defenses out there. Much respect, it is the NFL. But with Ron Rivera running the ship, and you got those guys, man, stop. We all saw what Brian Burns did in the preseason. Man, stop. If you dare, talking about your coordinators, offensive coordinators, if you dare to scheme for Brian Burns, a rookie, and we got KK come on, dude. We got Pro Bowlers across the line. We're rotating people that get down, bruh. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this defensive front too. They teach the young guys how to play the right way. And boy, I feel slightly sorry for the Rams offensive line right now. Just a little bit. That'll go away probably Saturday, but right now I feel a little sorry for them. They don't know what they're about to go up against. And we still got Kuechly in the middle. Oh man, Shaq has a lot to prove. It's going to be interesting. We're going to score the ball and we're going to keep them from scoring. Now, Kevin, I believe you had your prediction was 20 something to 10, I believe.
Yeah, my prediction was 27-10. I had it as a tight game in the first half, 13-10. I see it, going there, making our halftime adjustments. Rivera and Norv, sorting things out, and I just feel like in the second half, we're just gonna come out there and we're gonna take advantage of some things. I feel like we're gonna have the opportunity to control the clock, and it's gonna be hot from the weather forecast that I'm looking at for this coming Sunday. So I look at, the team being in, condition to have that second win that the Rams are not going to have. And I just feel like that we're going to stretch it out in the second half, 27-10, 2 second half touchdowns, 1 in each quarter to seal the deal. So a tight first half, and we're going to stump a mud hole and walk it out in the second half. That's just how I see it. I really feel like that the opportunity is there for us to put up some points and to move them chains and take advantage of the opportunities that will be presented. Because like I said, for all this talent name-wise on the Rams, even with the great Wade Phillips, I saw a lot of holes in them last year. And we're coming with a team that's far better offensively talented than had before. If y'all remember when we played them back in 2016, it was a defensive slobber knob. I believe that score was like 13-9, 13-10, something like that. And, Aaron Donald was, wrecking shop, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses. He was, he was single-handedly, stalling our offense enough to where, kept them around. But I just feel like we just got way too many weapons. I really feel like once we, like you and Larry already mentioned, our skilled players, especially at wide receiver and tight end and running back, I just think it's going to be, attrition. We're just going to keep throwing good players at the good players. I can see this kind of game where a guy like Hogan may not have but 2 or 3 catches, but they're going to be big catches to really move the chains, set up the ball, and first down, getting closer to the red zone. I just really see it as one of them games where we're going to spread it around. Everybody going to take turns at the round table eating, and we're going to make it do what it do, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Larry, man, are you amped or what, bro? I can't wait to get this going, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely amped. And like I said, I expect the defense to match, man. Really close in the second and the first half, but I think we have the weapons, to get, to stretch a little bit of a lead, probably get an extra touchdown in there somewhere. Or even Norv, we tend to slow out the gates, but the defense usually is the ones that, keep us in it and help us get over the hump. So I expect that to happen this year. I think we'll get better as the season goes on. Probably by 2 or 3, all the kinks will be ironed out. We'll be hitting on all cylinders, averaging about 28 to 31 points a game. But just to start out, man, it just seems like every year we start off a little bit slow. But I still think we'll be the better team on Sunday. So 17-7 is my prediction.
Would it also be fair to say that in spite of those past numbers, and, we can't dispute the fact that we never had an opening day with this much offensive firepower? I mean, with the offense coordinator like Norv, with the playmakers that we got, I think this would be, if there's ever time to break a trend on week 1 openers for the Panthers, particularly at home, it wouldn't surprise me if we, didn't put up some points just off the sheer fact that we're a much better squad than what we had now. When we opened up last year at home versus Dallas week 1, Curtis Samuel was out. It was discovered he had the heart issue, and I just I just think there's a chance for us to buck that trend, but I definitely don't disagree with you. I take a 17-7 win. As long as we 1-0 at the end of the week, like Cam always like to say in his interviews, that's how I feel. As long as we leave 4:25 Sunday afternoon 1-0, I'm good.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised at all. We definitely had the talent to go blow the doors off the building. I'm just going by what I know from the history. That's all it really was. It's just an analytical pick for the most part. Just knowing that we always get excited to have these big explosive games, but it seems like week one we always come out a little bit rusty. Cam didn't play too much in the preseason. Curtis didn't. Our starters didn't get too many snaps, to be honest with you. Even in preseason game week 3, Cam had to come out early, so it was still impossible for them to get that chemistry down. I just think it takes us a little bit of while for whatever reason. Yeah. But shoot, we put up 35 points. I'm all with that. Don't want to make it seem like, I'm not being a pessimist at all. If we can score 35 points, I'm with it. 27, I'm with it. Put 50 up on them if we can. I'm just trying to be a real gang. In the past, we expect certain things, but we always come out a little bit slow. So that's just a realistic opinion. That's all.
True. Me personally, I'd just say 17, 21, 7, 21, 10 probably sounds about right. Just because we haven't got the kinks out yet. I mean, that's just the way it is. That you take that risk when you don't play your starters like that. That continuity is just not there. But who knows? I mean, who knows? Cam's had time to work with Kurt and DJ. Has actually had a full off-season OTAs, all the good stuff, and he's acclimated with the playbook and everything. So I mean, who knows? Who knows? They might click pretty quickly, quicker than they did last year with the offense. But I really expect that defense to be flying around. I can't wait to see these guys in full-fledged ears pinned back mode. Go get them, because man, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful to see.
And
so what? Go ahead.
Just to support your opinion, Kev, don't get me wrong. In that limited action that Cam did have in preseason game week 3 was lights out, elite, perfect. So the chemistry might be there. I'm just, like I said, I was just using the analytical opinion.
Yeah, he was throwing some pretty
even
balls.
In practice this week, he's been on fire. So
yep, that's what I heard.
I'm with that. Listen, 35 it will not shock me at all. At all, it would not shock me. I just was putting out 17-7 just seemed real to me, But we can put up more in them as long as my goal for the defense this year, I want to have 70 sacks, and I want to hold teams to under 15 points per game. So that's what my season goal and expectations are. I don't care what we do outside of that. Just let's meet those expectations. I know I got high standards, but I just feel like we got way too much talent not to have 65, 70 sacks and hold teams under 15 a game. This is one of the best defenses we're going to have in a long time. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, defensively, I mean, you talking about 70 sacks. Me personally, this, I could say sounds homerish or whatever. I think we're going to get at least a minimum of 6 sacks. Minimum of 6 sacks come this Sunday. Now, I do expect them to hit us with the quick offense. Sean McVay he got some arrogance with him.
Yeah, he does.
It wouldn't surprise me if he tries to start us out, spreading us out, and seeing how we're going to match up, with his 4 receivers and like that. I'm not too sure what type of weapons they got at tight end. I mean, if either one of y'all got some intel on that, I never really known the Rams to have, a serious weapon at tight end, just primarily wide receiver and running back. But I see them want to try to hit us with the quick pass game, or they're going to take their shot and play action deep, because they are a heavy play action team, particularly with the success Gurley has. Now, you did mention that he's going to be on a pitch count, but I do expect to see him try to run early enough just to see how he feels. If we can stop that early and let Goff have to sling it 35, 40 times, oh boy, sack party coming. So put me down for 6 sacks. I'm going to say I'm gonna say 3 turnovers. I'm gonna say 2 interceptions and a fumble, and I'm sticking with my 10 points. That's what I'm gonna go with. So a week from now, feel free to pat me on the back or serve me some crow. But either way, if it's anything near that, you heard it here first, folks.
Tight end wise, what's funny about that is last year I was doing Uber in Atlanta when the Rams and the Patriots were here for the Super Bowl, and I had one of their tight ends in my car. His name was Johnny Munn. He's pretty much a special teamer, but dude had to put his seat back all the way. I mean, he's a good 6'5", at least 230, 40 pounds. I know that for sure. I know he was telling me that he was going to be competing for, a more regular role in the offense this year. So that's somebody I will look out for. I don't think he's starting. I think their starting tight end name is Higbee or something like that. Yeah, Tyler Higbee. I know him. He's a decent little tight end. But, their biggest weapon is certainly not at tight end. But you mentioned Todd Gurley, running back. I don't care who the running back is. Don't nobody come in here in Carolina house and just run it up on us. I done seen some of the best running backs come to Charlotte and get shut down. Adrian Peterson, a few years ago when he was in his prime. Zeke last year came through here like early on in the season. Guys don't just come in our house and run all over us. So I don't care who you bring in our house. We're going to shut that down early. But hopefully we can get an early lead like you're expecting so we can get those 6 sacks. That's the only way to really get after the quarterback. Get ahead early, make them throw that rock. That's the formula. Yes, so I'm ready. Let's get to Sunday already.
Yes, sir. Because I guarantee you Christian's going to eat, bro. He going to eat. I mean, I know the D-line is straight, man, but Christian is like no other. Christian's like no other, folks. Now we must talk about the NFC South and our predictions on how it's going down. I'm going to tell you right now, Panthers will go 11-5 and win the NFC South by beating the Saints last game of the year. Bam. What'd you think, Kev?
I'm going to stick with my 12-4. Highest ceiling, 13-3. I like to see us run the table at home, 8-0. That's a fun feeling. Maybe that's the PSL side of me coming out. This is not a good feeling making that walk down them steps after a loss and the visiting fans singing their fight song all in your spot. That's not a good feeling, fellas. But,
hell no.
But if I was to be unbiased, I'm feeling healthy, 12-4, 13-3 ceiling, 11-5 is the lowest I think we're capable of doing. That's all based on healthy. If we're not healthy, man, I don't want to relive that again. No. I really don't.
No.
I've had enough unhealthy seasons post Super Bowl to last me for a while. So
Facts.
I'm hoping that the football gods, have mercy upon the Carolinas and leave that injury bug elsewhere, and keep it out of our domain. But just like y'all, because of the Falcons offensive line, which Larry loves and bringing up when we discuss, throughout the week in our chat, I don't see them being good enough to allow that powerful offense of theirs to be a factor. So I'm looking at it as it come down to us and the Saints again. I think Tampa Bay is going to be feistier, but I still see them coming in fourth place. I really do. So I got us 12-4. I got the Saints 11-5, Falcons 9-7, and I put Tampa at 7-9.
You're generous.
Oh, see, I didn't know we were doing the whole division. I got that too.
Yeah, I believe Tim said. NFC South.
You're right. But I got that laid out. Yeah, I love to talk about these bum Falcons. First of all,
get them
from the offensive whole right side.
Get them.
So Brian Burns will have a field day.
Man,
every time we play him, those is though when we were talking about sacks. Those are big games right there. I expect it to be like a Greg Hardy return when we sack Matt Ryan 7, 8, 9 times at a game. Like, that's what I expect to happen. But Yeah, I got us going, like I said, 11-5, 12-4. Still got us winning the division because I think New Orleans has hit their ceiling. You can't come that close to getting to the Super Bowl that many times.
Yeah, bro.
At some point, your luck just has to run out.
Their heads
Aaron
ain't right.
Cap plays well.
Mm-hmm.
Got a young center who's pretty good. I know Kev is a big fan of him, but I think he's going to have some regular rookie growing pains. So I think Gerald McCoy, Kwan Short, they'll probably have their way with him early.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the Saints going like 10-6, 9-7. Falcons, Dan Quinn is getting fired this year. Just so you know, they're going 6-10. If not 5-11. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just that we all know the game starts in the trenches.
Yep.
And their offensive line really has holes. Their first round pick, the tackle, the one they traded up for, got him like 30-something.
No, the guard they took at 14, the one out of Boston.
No, yeah, the guard they took at 14. I'm talking about they traded up into the first round at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get McGarry out of Washington, I believe.
Yeah, he had heart surgery, so he's not even back up to full speed yet. They say he's going to play on Sunday, but he's not starting.
What?
And he's going to be on the pitch count. Yeah, so his pass blocking needs some work. And then they got a no-name guy from the Giants, I think, at the left guard or something like that. The only real ballers they got on that offensive line are Alex Mack, who's getting older, kind of like Ryan Khalil was, and they got Jake Matthews, who's finally coming into his own. So I expect us to run through them. And then on the defensive end, they picked up the option for Vic Beasley. I think they're paying him like $12 million.
Big mistake.
Excuse my French, he ain't shit. And then Tack McKinley. Still same thing. Like they got two first rounders on the edge that really haven't lived up to the hype. And then they just gave Grady Jarrett a bunch of money, but he's manageable. He's not the best DT in the league. He's okay. Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to the trenches, I just think we have a full advantage. I think the Saints have an advantage over them in the trenches. Mm-hmm. I see them going 6-10. The big question mark is Tampa Bay. They're either going to go somewhere around that 6-10, or they'll probably have a better season than last year and do like an 8-8 or 9-7. I don't think Bruce Arians turns this around in 1 year.
Not 1 year.
I think it's going to take him a couple of seasons. That's all.
Tampa Bay.
So we won in the division. Don't question that at all.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm just trying to figure out.
Don't question that at all.
I'm just trying to figure out who's going to beat us. I mean, I don't in the NFC South. I don't see anybody matching with us. Just from a defensive standpoint. I mean, I'm just looking at that front, man. I mean. The trenches are critical, and we got some ballers up front. And then you got Luke Kuechly in the middle. We're set at safety and corner position for the first time in forever, dude. I really think people aren't really understanding how much firepower we got on offense and accompany that with the defense, man. I don't see. In all honesty, we shouldn't lose to anybody in the NFC South. I'm not being crazy about that. I don't think. Just straight up, from what I'm gathering, from what Kevin's been relaying to us, from what he's seeing at camp, it just really looks like we have the type of players on this team when the lights go on, and it's week one, they wake up Sunday morning, they're gonna be fucking focused. Excuse my language. They're gonna be freaking focused, man. They're gonna be so dialed in. Right? Now, we all know that you can get a little too hype. But I think we have enough savvy veterans on this team for everybody will corral their emotions, go out there and execute. And when we execute, I don't see anybody in the NFC South beating us. I really don't. We'll beat ourselves before anybody in the NFC South beats us man to man. That's just how I feel about that. Jesus Christ. Christian McCaffrey. DJ's going to have an explosive year. Explosive. Curtis is going to have an explosive year. Oh, my gosh. Help it, Lord.
And to give y'all the dates when we play our divisional rivalries, we play Tampa, of course, Thursday Night Football, Week 2. Mm-hmm. That's going to be September the 12th. We play them again October the 13th over in London. Mm-hmm. Then when we play the Falcons, November 17th at Charlotte, and December the 1st in Atlanta. And we play New Orleans November 24th in New Orleans, and here home in Charlotte, December 29th. So that's when we're gonna be getting our divisional work on. So yeah, we gotta go ahead and remind Tampa who their daddy is early and often. Week 2 and I believe week 6, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead and start them on their annual basement party. Go ahead and just slap them around, let them know, like I said, who runs them. And we come back off this bye week after the trip to London. It's alternating home game, road game. At San Francisco, home against Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, at Green Bay, home, so it's just going to alternate. So it won't be no long stretches on the road for us to close out the year, which I think will be a good thing. So, yeah, man, I really think that we can, if we can just get out to this good, strong start, I really think that we can just ride a wave of momentum that's going to have us on a magical season. So I'm definitely excited.
Well, wow. We're here, folks. Week 1. We got through the preseason without any major injuries. Oh my gosh. It is it's going to be one heck of a ride, folks. And the 4-man rush, I think we came on board just in time. Because, the way you guys, get your content from us is unlike anybody else. And, to accompany our existence with a strong showing by the Carolina Panther franchise during this season will be that'll be a great icing on the cake right there. I'm not even going to talk about Super Bowl. I'm not even going to try to go there. Week 1, that's all that matters. Heck, the next 24 hours is all that matters. This is going to be a special ride, man. I'm sure I speak for the fellas when I say thanks for tuning in and checking us out. You're going to have fun too. All right. Well, gentlemen, before we sign on off of here and get ready for Sunday, you guys have anything? Any closing statements?
As far as me, I just want our fans to continue word of mouth. Please keep telling your Panther fans and even just football fans who just enjoy good football conversation and content. Come check us out at 4-Man Rush. We got the website up and running. You can check us out there. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Of course, you can catch our podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Yeah, iTunes and Spotify. If you're listening to this podcast and you're not on iTunes and Spotify, and you know people who have iTunes and Spotify and they're really happy with those platforms, tell us to check us out. Simply type in the number 4-Man Rush, and by God, we should be right there for you. And of course, you can always check out the podcast on Podbean. And as we go along through the season, hopefully we'll get up on Snapchat, and some of the other social media platforms. Not social media platforms, excuse me, podcast platforms for other Panther fans and football fans out there. So yeah, man, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, check us out, the 4-Man Rush, and that apparel will be coming out sometime throughout the year. We'll let you guys know about that.
Make sure you send in them. Make sure you send in them surveys too. If you can't, just go to the 4-Man Rush Facebook page, and you can find the post with the 4-Man Rush apparel on it. That's where everybody's been leaving their emails. If you can't find it because we done had so many posts since then, just feel free to leave a message with the 4-Man Rush. You can go to our email, the4manrush@gmail.com. Send your email address there, and we'll email you a survey. It only take maybe a minute, if that long, to fill it out. And we just once we get that information from all the surveys from you fans, we're gonna be able to put that information together and get this apparel taken care of and bring it out to you in a way that you'll enjoy. We appreciate you being patient. Understand some of you have been waiting a while, but just like with us, slow but steady wins the race. So we don't want to rush anything with you. We want to make it right. So we're going to do this apparel the same way we do this content. So Thank you guys for being patient. We're going to make sure it's worth the wait.
And on behalf of myself, Timmy VO, Kevin, Larry, of course, Will down there in Florida, please be safe. And if you're listening and you're in the path of the hurricane, please, by all means, be safe. Remember, your life is worth more than any type of tangible object. Okay, take care of yourselves. Big shout out to Will, hold it down there. And of course, Norris, Darius, and Vince, and of course you, the fan, for checking us out. We really, really, really appreciate that.
Don't forget that bald head Monty.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Man, I haven't seen Money since Juice was out. Dang. Yeah, well, peace out, Monty. Can't wait to get you back on here, man, with all four of you guys, and we're going to break it down. But, all due time. Peace out, Monty. Hold it down, bro. Good looking, Kev.
That boy done gone mission. I don't know where the hell that boy at.
All right, so, Panther fans, football fans, hold it down. And as always, keep pounding.
Take it time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. She love it. We out in public and we can just chill with my partners, and we can go back to my crib and just chill under covers and do we call me and you lovers.
The Four-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The Four-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the Four-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.